Well, hello everybody. If you're here today, welcome in. This is going to be video number 4 in my weight loss health journey vlog series. If you haven't been here before, my name is Lena. I am one half of Walking Beyond Borders, which is a channel that I have with my boyfriend Jason. This little playlist is just part of our journeys. So thank you for stopping by. I hope that you stay and follow along. So a lot has happened. It's been a minute. I haven't been able to do one of these in a really long time. Lots of changes, but I was hearing from quite a few people outside of YouTube even that I should really do one video that is focused a lot on, my experience so far with a semiglutide, a GLP-1 medication, which is Ozempic. There's many different ones out there. That's the one that I have been prescribed so far in my journey. Again, the biggest disclaimer that I always say is I am not a healthcare professional. I'm not a doctor, nurse, nutritionist, nothing. I just speak from my own experiences. I just wanted to make a really quick video to kind of let people know a little bit more about Ozempic, how it works, how you use it, because I know that anyone who maybe doesn't have experience with needles and stuff like that, it can be really, really, it can be scary at times, or make you just really, really nervous. Not scary, but maybe just nervous. But I can really tell you that this is super, super easy to do. I've got some examples for you today, and so I'll walk you through it. And like I always say, I like to bring the good, bad, and ugly to the channel. So I will talk a little bit about some of the side effects that I've experienced along the way. So let's dive in. Ozempic. It is, like I was saying, a semiglutide. You might hear people say GLP-1 medications. Quite often along the way, you will hear people say, these are the lazy drugs, the drugs for the lazy and things like that. I will say first and foremost, I was not prescribed Ozempic for weight loss. I was primarily prescribed Ozempic because as you know from previous vlogs I've done, videos, that my blood sugars and my diabetes was completely out of control. Ozempic is primarily a diabetic drug, and that is why I've been put on it. Now, along the way, is it proven that there is some success with weight loss on it? 100%. And in no way, shape, or form am I here to judge anybody who is on Ozempic for weight loss. I'm a firm believer in people will absolutely need to do what they need to do to get them on the right path to health. And I am a complete advocate for people using the tools and resources that are out there for them. So anyone who absolutely has went to the doctor, done their research, got prescribed Ozempic, and it's for weight loss, go for it. I give you the power, do it. Look, sometimes everyone just needs a tool to help them along. And it is absolutely 100% not a drug for the lazy, and it is not a miracle drug. Ozempic, it does do something to help you along the way, but you have to work out. You have to put the hard work and the dedication into workouts, moving your body, and you 100% have to put the dedication in to eating all the right stuff and making all the right decisions and choices. You can't eat like crap and expect Ozempic to make you lose a lot of weight. It doesn't work that way. So without further ado, let's dive in a little bit further. Ozempic comes in like a pen injection. It comes in like 2 different forms. This is the first one that a lot of people see. It's a red package, and this is a pen that administers dosages that are the lowest that you can be on, 0.25 milligrams, or when you bump up to 0.5 milligrams. So this pen can actually do both of those dosages. The second pen that you get is when you advance to a higher dose. This is the 1 milligram pen. So this pen is only set to only administer a 1 milligram dose. The nice thing about the Ozempic drug, once you do get prescribed it, is in this box is pretty much everything that you need. Your pen is in there. It's already pre-filled with the medication, and you do get your little like needle tips. The 0.25.5 box comes with 6 little disposable needle tips, and the 1 milligram box comes with 4 because that's the maximum dosage that you'll actually get out of this pen. This pen lasts, when you're on the 1 milligram dose, it lasts a month at a time. The only thing missing from these boxes is something to clean your skin with, which is simply, you can either do like cotton swabs and rubbing alcohol. I just go to the store and buy alcohol swabs, super, super cheap. And to me, it's the most convenient. They come in little packets like this, and I just rip one off at a time, clean the skin, and you're good to go. I'll show you basically what's in one of these boxes. So when you open it up, it's great. It gives you a little bit of a quick guide here, which is super helpful. It will also give you a place for you to write what day of the week that you give yourself injections on. I will say, full disclaimer, I don't really do this anymore. This was when I was first starting. I wanted to keep myself on track. And because you need to alternate your sites every single week, I was keeping track. I like to put it in my tummy. And so I was keeping track just like left, right, side, right, left and right. So this is basically what it looks like. This is the pen with the medication in it. And this box right here is your little your little needle tips. And you always have a full instruction manual here, which goes step by step through everything you need to know, side effects, all the warnings, the precautions, all of that is in there. So, again, it's super helpful. The quick guide, I have an amazing pharmacist that just spent a few minutes with me when I was first given it and really told me exactly what to do. And I came home and I did it. And although I was like a pinch nervous, I thought, just do it, get it out of the way. And it's a piece of cake, really. So, and she was fabulous with letting me know all the things. So this is the pen. Now, everything I show you today is going to really be, it's empty. Because they are all used. But typically what you would see is this little thing that's now down at the bottom and it's empty, is it usually shows full here. And this is where you can see your medication through the window. This is your little dosage guide. And this is the tip that you'll be screwing the little needle tips onto. And this is the button to administer it to yourself. So very, very user friendly, like really easy to use. I'm going to demo actually putting one of these on for you, the needle tips, just so that you know how to do it if you've never been faced with any of this before. I have a leftover one just because my first box didn't last me 6 needle tips based on my dosages. So I had a leftover. So it's okay if I use it. So this is basically what they look like. In this box, like I was saying, because it was the one that administered 0.25 or 0.5, it comes with 6 of them because that would be the max doses that you're going to get out of this pen. And just to also show you along the way, once you go up to the 1 milligram pen, the inside of the box looks exactly the same because nothing changes. The directions are exactly the same. The inside contents are identical, except now you'll know that you're on the higher dose because instead of red label, you are on the blue label now. And the blue label does say that it is a 4 milligram pen, 1 milligram each dose. And the only difference is that when you open up your Lancet package in here, now instead of them being 6 holes, like 6, you'll only get the 4 Lancet, or the 4 little needles or Lancets as you need them. So the nice thing about this is that they don't get you to buy the needles on the side, and I appreciate that. They're making it as easy as possible for people. So this is what one of the little needle tips look like. It is just in a sealed package, which is how you know that it hasn't been tampered with. If you were actually going to use this for the first time, you need this, and you need your pen, and you need your alcohol swab to clean your skin. Some people don't think it's a big deal to clean the skin. I'm a firm believer in clean the skin. You never know. To connect this, really easy. You've got your little like screw area down here and your needle tip. You would basically be ripping off. You're going to see inside that there is a little needle tip in there. It's because it has to go into this like little mesh section that's down there that's going to be the area that the medication like flows through. All that you need to do is simply put it together and you're just going to screw it on. And you're just going to go to the point where it stops, like it's firm at that point in time. And pretty much your pen at this point in time would be really like good to go. If you're using a pen for the first time, you always have to prime a pen first, which means that you're just going to do like one little like quick splurt in the air just to make sure that you can actually like see the medication flow freely before trying to give yourself a dose. The nice thing is that the quick guide actually tells you all about this. It guides you through with each new pen. You're basically going to do like a flow check, and it'll show you the symbol that you need to set it to. I'll show you very quickly right now. The pen is set to 0 milligrams. And to do a flow check, it's usually like 1 or 2 little clicks. I'll see if I can do this like real time with you. So don't know if you can see it, but right there, those 2 little dots in the line, that would be where you stop. As you can see, it's like right under the 0. You're basically going to stop there and you have to prime the pen. So if you were doing this, and again, this pen, it's pretty much going to be empty, but I'll demo it for you. The first thing that you're going to do is take this big white cap off. So that is just a guard. You have a secondary cap here, so you absolutely need to take the second cap off to get to the actual needle. So now you can see the needle. I want to just get that drop to come off of it a little bit just so that you can see. So the needle is like super, super small. It is mini, 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 mini. Don't know. Hopefully you can see that. It's very small, guys. It's not even, I don't even know if it's a half an inch, but super small, very thin. You can't feel this. Like it is a piece of cake. So if you were on your priming spot, basically you would just kind of like shoot it once. Oh, you probably saw that. So there was enough medication in here for me to do a flow check on this needle. If you saw that, that's what you can expect. You know your needle's good to go. So right now, I'm just going to recap this for the time being, just so that I don't poke myself by accident or anything like that. And as you can see, when I did the flow check, it just dropped it right back down to 0 again. So in this case, this is the pen that administers 0.25. It also administers 0.5. You would know that you're at the right dosage because you just start turning this dial down here. So this pen is smart enough to know it doesn't have enough medicine to go that far. So I can't even actually show you what it looks like in the window. It is very clear. When you're at 0.25, you'll see it. You stop as soon as the line matches up to 0.25. And then for you to administer your shot, you would obviously have this already off. You're basically going to just go straight into your skin like this, around the belly button area. It has to be like 2-3 inches away from the belly button area. And once you're straight in, a little poke in, you would press this button and you would hold it down. And when you're actually holding it down, you're going to hear it click. It's like click, 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 because the dial is going back and giving you that whole dose. If you weren't giving yourself a 0.25 dosage, you would spin this all the way to pretty much the end, because then you're going to be at the 0.5 dose. Same thing. You would poke yourself, press the button, and you're holding this button down until the clicking stops. Now, a word of advice from my pharmacist is you do a little bit of a countdown before pulling the needle out of the skin again, just because you just want to make sure that all the medication is flowing directly into you. So while I hold this down and it's clicking, click, 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 and then it stops, and I know it has stopped giving me the medicine, then I just count to 6. A really slow 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I let it go and I just pull it straight out again. At that point in time, you're done. And the nice thing about this is it's once a week. It's not every day. It's once a week. Pick a day of the week that works for you and is easy enough for you to follow. Once you're done giving yourself the medication, you can simply just recap it. You can leave it at that. I typically always just put the bigger cap back on, and then you're just twisting it off. You're back to the pen, recap it, and that's it. You're done for the week. I keep my Ozempic in the fridge all the time. Once you start using the pen, you don't necessarily need to put it back in the fridge. So before the pen is used, absolutely, you would be keeping it in the fridge. Once you open the pen and you administer yourself the first dose, you can put it back in the fridge if you want, or you can just leave it out. I believe it's good for maybe 6 or 8 weeks out at room temperature. I will say that when I'm giving it to myself here at home, I typically leave it in the fridge. If I'm traveling, so like for example, when I traveled to see Jason and I have to take this with me because it's then out of the fridge all day long as I make my way to the airport and on a plane and everything else into his house. At that point in time, typically I'm already partway through a pen, and at that moment, I just leave it out for the remainder of the pen instead of going from like fridge to room temp back to fridge again and stuff like that. So find the rhythm that works for you the best. That's the best thing to do. The 1 milligram is exactly the same thing. As you can see, like I said, the box of the needle tips looks the same. The pen looks identical. You would prep it the exact same way. The flow check little dashes look identical. The only difference with this pen is that it only administers one type of dose, a 1 milligram. So when you're giving yourself this pen, you're literally going all the way to the end where it says 1 milligram and doing it the same way. So trust me when I say, as someone who used to be mega scared of needles back in the day, I will say this is absolutely a piece of cake. Very easy to use, very easy to give, and it does not hurt. As you could see, that the needle tip, they've made it so small, and I appreciate that because they've made it so easy for people to absolutely give it to themselves. So that's just the way Ozempic works. Let's talk side effects for a few minutes. So primarily the reason why Ozempic works for weight loss is that it's known to really like shut off the food noise in the brain. Some people have a part of their brain that is very, very strong, and it really drives certain people to think about food all the time, overeat, indulge, cravings. The food noise is real in some people. I've been there, not always, but I have struggled, my whole life with weight loss and weight gain. And so trust me when I say, like, I understand the reason why some people absolutely require this tool at all times. It does help with that. I know that for a fact based on one of the side effects that I experienced when I first started taking it. But that really is the reason why it works, because it kind of shuts off that food noise in people's brains. Sometimes you just don't tend to eat as much and things like that. But that's why I'm saying it's not a miracle drug. Like, you still have to make the right choices with your food. You still have to eat really healthy food, and you really have to work hard in the gym or walking and working out and strength training. So, you yourself make it happen. And this is just one of the tools along the way. Side effects. I would say that this is the thing that I was like super nervous about. You hear the worst things when it comes to GLP-1s or Ozempic, and it made me super nervous, more so than even taking the needle. I would say I think it's going to depend on the person, to be honest with you. I can only speak with what I experienced. So we're going to get real for a minute. I'm just going to speak from my experience. Going from not being on Ozempic to starting at the lowest dose, the 0.25, I really didn't know what to expect. And I would say for the most part, I didn't experience anything then. Um, so much where I was like, you hear about so much stuff, but I'm not really experiencing anything. Oh, this is good. Awesome, right? So I was like, okay, good to go. When I switched from the 0.25 up to zero point 0.5 milligrams, that's when things started to happen for me. So I have heard some people experiencing like really bad diarrhea, for example, or I've heard you can go like polar opposite and get like constipated. I would say when I went from 0.25 to zero point 0.5 milligrams, I didn't experience the diarrhea. I definitely experienced the opposite side of it. Now, I don't know if it was so much the Ozempic that was causing that or another side effect that I experienced going to the zero point 0.5. When I went from the 0.25 to the zero point 0.5, I think that's when like a little bit of the food noise for me was getting turned off because there were days where I had no interest at all in food. I didn't even care to eat. And sometimes, quite frankly, like I probably could have skipped a meal and then only like noticed much later at night, oh, I didn't eat, right? So I think my food intake at that moment went like extremely down. And because it went extremely down, I think that's where I was potentially like suffering from that side effect of like the constipation. So, you know, irregardless of whether it was Ozempic or what Ozempic was doing to my want or need for food, it is a side effect that I was experiencing. There's easy ways to solve that. I mean, you can go high fiber foods, and or you can, you know, boost yourself up with some Metamucil. In my case, I just went and got some sugar-free Metamucil, you know, to supplement, just because I'm on a very strict dieting, and trying to intermittent fast too. So that's how I dealt with that. The other side effect that I had when I went to the zero point 0.5 was there were some days where I was very nauseous. Not nauseous all the time, just nauseous while trying to eat. And I think the reason why that was happening to me was I was just feeling full all the time. So even though I knew that I needed to eat and I was sitting with a plate of food in front of me, I would literally like take a few bites and then be like, oh my gosh, I'm so full. But then knowing and looking at my plate and going, okay, if this is my meal for the day, um, I've definitely not eaten enough. And then trying to get like a few more bites in or forcing yourself to eat at that moment because you know you haven't eaten enough. And then I was starting to get nauseous and making myself sick. So trust me when I say I've went back and forth on whether or not you can really intermittent fast with Ozempic or not. Um, there's some days where I do really great with it because I see the benefits to it. And then there's other days where I can see where my doctors and that are saying, don't know if you're going to be able to do that. I know you really want to because you reap the benefits, but Ozempic does cause people to, you know, eat smaller portion sizes. So they said, like, knowing Ozempic works that way, you can't really sit down with just like one meal. You are never going to intake the food, and the nourishment that we need you to. So it's something that I'm experimenting along the way with, and I'll report back to you guys when I know whether or not it really truly works. I'm leaning on the side of I don't think you can intermittent fast a lot on Ozempic. I think you need to have like kind of those mini meals along the way just because you can't get a lot of food in you at one time, or at least that's the way it's been working for me. So that's pretty much like the two first doses and side effects there. When I went from zero point 0.5 to 1 milligrams, this is where two side effects hit me the most. One is not all the time, and one is pretty persistent. One is very common. The other one is a not so common side effect. So leave it to me. I got one of both. The first pretty common side effect is When I moved from point 0.5 to 1, within the first couple of days of me being on the higher dose, the 1 milligram dose, as someone who has never, and I mean, I can swear to this, never experienced heartburn, whew, the heartburn side effects were off the chart. The first night it hit me, and knowing that I had never experienced heartburn before, I was only guessing that that's what was happening to me. And I wasn't even 100% sure. There was a moment in time, the first night I experienced this, that I was in so much pain from it that I was like contemplating going to emergency. I know I'm laughing about it now, but when you have not experienced this and you're feeling everything in your chest right up into your throat, you are like, what is happening? What is this pain? Like, I'm a bit nervous. This bothered me. It was such a hard side effect that I remember the first night that this had me just beside myself. It was like 1:30 in the morning and I was in tears. I got dressed in the middle of the night, put myself in the car, and drove to a 24-hour pharmacy drugstore because I was like, if this is heartburn, I need something to squash it now because there's no way I can put up with this for much longer. Thankfully, when I went into the pharmacy, into the drugstore, I found some like very quick acting Tums relief, and I took it, and thankfully, it subsided. So I will absolutely say now, I 100% always carry a few of those like Tums soft chews with me, no matter where I am, whether I'm at home, at work, because if it does hit, I know that at least that absolutely works. That has not been too persistent though. Every now and then it hits me, and I've found that sometimes certain foods will absolutely bring that on. But it definitely was never something that I experienced before going to the higher dose of Ozempic. This, this, the second side effect that I've experienced on 1 milligram is it's a like I said, this is the good, bad, and the ugly, guys. So this is me being real with you. So a common side effect of Ozempic can be gassiness. Some people have trouble with, burping. Some people have trouble with flatulence. Some people, it becomes very common for them and they're doing it all the time. That is not the case with me. I don't experience that. I have a very like uncommon side effect to the gassiness though. Um, Ozempic can cause a very uncommon side effect called sulfuric burps. And although it doesn't hit me a lot or all the time, it can be persistent at times, especially now that I've been on this dose for a while. As you can imagine, and if you don't know, sulfuric burps, I mean, if your brain starts to tell you what you can relate to sulfuric, it is what it is, guys. A sulfuric burp is literally like you burp and it's like you're burping rotten eggs. Like, it's gross to say the least. Thankfully, this is not persistent. It is not every day. I think I would drive myself crazy if that was the case. But nonetheless, when it does hit, it's one of the gross side effects. Um, I don't know how many other people experience this. When I looked it up online, it absolutely was in the uncommon list. So I'm lucky, I guess. But with that being said, honestly speaking, the side effects for myself have been pretty minimal. Really no complaints other than the last one. I mean, it's a bit of a gross one. But aside from that, though, my experience with it has been really great. Um, I've definitely had a lot of benefits come from it. I can definitely fill you in right now at this point in time of me making this video. Um, and with some hard exercising and a very, very low carb, low fat, low sodium diet, following the Dr. Poon diet here in Ontario, I am sitting at roughly a weight loss of 30 pounds. I was a little bit higher than that. I've had a couple vacations in a row that I've done some damage and need to get back on track. So I know my bigger number is higher than that, but I'm at a net weight loss right now of about 30 pounds. So with that being said, I mean, I'm super happy, super pumped, definitely seeing the difference in my face, in a little bit of like the roundness of my tummy, and just clothes. Certain clothes are getting way too big for me. I've had to buy some new stuff. And as you can see from the smile on my face, you know, the hard work is paying off. So with that being said, that's my journey with Ozempic. And that is my journey with my diet so far. And yeah, so 30 pounds down and so much more to go. So with that being said, if you have tried Ozempic, if you've tried a semiglutide or a GLP-1, I'd love to know what you've experienced, if you were successful with it, if you experienced any different side effects, you know, leave me comments in the comments below. And, you know, I try my best to always answer everybody. And, you know, thank you for sticking it out this long. I hope this has been helpful to people that are potentially contemplating looking into Ozempic, trying it, maybe nervous to do it for your first time or by yourself. You know that you're never alone. It's a journey that a lot of us take, and I'm here to support and cheer on anyone as well. So thank you very much for watching. Please like this video. Leave me comments on anything that you have questions or would love to know about or see in this journey of mine. And if you haven't already done so, please subscribe, stick along this journey with us, and also with a lot of our travel vlogs, because that is the main purpose of our Walking Beyond Borders channel. Hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any of our content. And with that being said, we always tell everyone, walk with you later. But in this case, I will talk with you later. Bye, guys.